Laura Parvalut. And I think that might be Mark. Yes, of course it is. Mark Wilson. I'm going to have to bring my glasses and I'll be able to see people better. Laura down on the red line. Mark sitting up on the blue, taking the lead. Laura carefully holding that position in the lane. Mark sitting a little high, watching each other intently. Mark moving into the lead position. It looks like they're off and racing. Laura's taking the lead out now. Just a piece of information here. There's been a change to the B grade order. Britt and David will be up first. Kel and Dino and Sam McKay versus Sam. And it looks like Mark's coming around the long way, and will he finish it off? He's coming down the road and looks like he's made it through. So that seems to be Mark over Laura. What do you do? All right, here we go. We've got John. So John Lewis and Michelle Skerr, with Michelle sitting close on John's wheel there, coming into the first corner. John, very cat and mouse here, trying to control the race, holding Michelle up on his hip, moving her up the track, both of them eyeballing each other as they come through the back straight, coming into corner 3. John holding Michelle up the track, just waiting for that jump to occur. And it looks like Michelle's taking it up to John, and Michelle leads out into the front straight. John holding the lane and powers through. Pace seems to drop up again just a little bit. John holding his position out the front. Michelle trying really hard to catch up, get back on, but it looks like John's holding her out at the moment. So we come into corner 4 to finish off. John comes through towards the finish, and I think he's got enough, and John takes that one. David's raced many series of the Sprint Series now, and he's quite a wily contender. He's certainly got some experience here, and Chloe's, I understand, her first round, so it's speed versus experience. Looks like Dave's gone from the outset. He's obviously quite concerned about Chloe's jump, so he's gone very early, and he's going to see if he can just time trial her from the front. Dave's still holding his own there. Chloe might be closing it down a little bit. She's still got a lap to go, so anything could happen. David comes through for the bell, and Chloe's doing everything she can to try and get back on, but I think the gap might be just a little too wide at this stage. David holding about a quarter of a lap. So David coming through into corner 4. I think he's probably shutting it down at this stage, and he rolls through to an easy victory. We've got a very wily contender in Carl, who's obviously got all the moves, and the young apprentice in Tilly, who's been a very quick learner. So going into corner 1, Carl's holding Tilly on his hip, holding her up the track, making sure that she can't take any advantage whatsoever from that height that she has. Tilly just sitting in there, not wanting to burn anything too early, knowing well that Carl's got probably a very big gear and able to finish this off very solidly once he gets started. The two watching each other intently as they come into the back straight, coming into corner 3. So side by side. Carl pushing Tilly onto the front. Tilly now taking the advantage and actually starting to wind it up. She's pushed into corner 4 and she's really taking advantage of that gap now. Carl's been trying to catch up, but he looks like he's being caught on the hop. Carl giving it everything he's got to try and get back onto Tilly, but all I could see going past them was a huge smile on Tilly's face. Carl's giving it absolutely everything, trying to get back on. Tilly's holding up. She's giving it everything. Will she run out of gas? Can she hold Carl off? We're going into the corner 4. Carl's coming onto a back wheel. Carl's coming round. Tilly, can she hold out? It's Carl on the finish. Great race.
There you go. Oh, cool. Adele.
So the
Nice to meet
B
you.
graders need to come to the chute. It would appear that the list at the end of the chute is incorrect. The list at the end of the chute is incorrect. The order is Britt and David, Kel and Dino, and Sam McCabe and Sam Hughes. Back to the race at hand. So we need to get everybody in B grade up into the chute and ready to go when the commissaire calls. Jacob Mumford is sitting at the rear. Actually, he's not. He's sitting on the front. Jacob's sitting at the front. And the two of them are looking at each other intently, keeping the pace fairly slow at this stage. Trying to see who's going to get twitchy and jump first. Paul's got quite a solid finish on him and is quite capable of jumping. The two going through that danger point of corner 3, corner 4. The two are starting to wind it up. Looks like Paul's taking the advantage and he comes into corner 1. And Jacob's hard on his wheel trying to stay with him. Paul continues to hold him up at this stage. Jacob winding it up, seeing if he can get back onto that wheel as he comes into corner 3. Jacob just slowly starting to close it down, but I'm not sure if Paul hasn't got what it needs to finish it off. Jacob's giving it everything at this stage, but I think Paul had too much of a lead and he's finished it off for the win. There will be a lot on the line here. Brett, you've got the lead. So it's the young guns versus the old guns. David's a wily character and he's been at this game for a long time. He's got a lot of experience. He's also got quite a big kick on him for an older gentleman. I can say that. The two of them are eyeballing each other, being held up on David's hip as they come into corner 3. Just matching pace at this stage, not letting any advantage happen, not letting Britt get up onto the corner 4 bank or get a jump. The two are side by side, still watching each other as they come past the start-finish line. Still holding that pace high, not letting any advantage, not letting that jump come through as we come into corner 2. They're just waiting, and it looks like Britt's taking the opportunity and she's trying to get around the outside of David. David working very hard into corner 3, trying to hold her up on his hip still and controlling the lane. David holding down in the lane and trying to finish it off. It's very close, but I think David might have got that one. I think that's going to be required to meet the speed and athleticism of Kel. So the two head across the line together into corner 1, Dino holding Kel up, and there's a lot of cat and mouse going on here. Just trying to see, very twitchy, who's going to jump first, who's going to try and shut him down or control it, who's going to hold that lane. Lots of things going through their minds at this stage as they come into the back straight. Coming around into corner 3, Dino's still trying to hold Kel up high on the bank. Kel thinking he may be able to go through or whether he'll jump underneath. Dino controlling yet again, holding down into the lane. Dino continuing to control through corner 4 as they come into the bell lap, and it looks like Kel's taking the bell and off they go. Dino holding out, Kel in as he holds the lane into corner 1 again, and Kel tucks in behind him looking if he can take the draft and come through with the last 2 laps, 2 corners he has to come round. Dino working quite well, holding Kel out at this stage. Kel doing everything he can to try and jump into that slipstream, but Dino holding the lane at this stage, and it looks like he's had enough to see it through to the end. Sam Hughes sits high. Sam McCabe so Sam Hughes in the red, sitting high on the track. Sam McCabe sitting perfectly in line with him, making sure that he can't take any advantage of the height that he has. And the two watching each other intently as they come around corner one, pace is slowing right down so that they can size each other up. Positioning on the track, seeing if anyone can find themselves an opportunity for a jump or trigger any sort of start to the sprint. We go into corner two and they're almost at a standstill, but no, they move on again. Sam McCabe holding the front still, watching Sam Hughes in the red high very intently. So roll down into corner three. We're coming to almost a standstill again. Sam McCabe holding the sprinter's lane. Sam Hughes sitting high on the bank, looking to see if he can capitalise on that advantage coming off from high up the bank. Sam McCabe sitting perfectly in that position to stop him doing just that. Looks like they're almost trying to swap positions at this stage. Only time will tell. Coming around out of corner four. The two watching each other closely as we come to the bell. Sometimes this triggers the start of the sprint. You never can tell. They're very close on the fence at this stage, not letting anyone pick up an advantage, and it looks like Sam McCabe's taken the opportunity and jumped. He's holding the lane well into corner two. Sam Hughes doing everything he can to hold onto that wheel or run into the slipstream, which he seems to be attempting to do quite well as we come round into corner four. It's anybody could win this one. They come through together and they're giving it everything they've got, and I would almost suggest that we've got a winner here, and it looks like it's Sam. Very powerful, very strong and very fast. What will make the difference today? Strategy, power, they both seem to have a fair bit of each, so very even match at this stage. Stephen holding Ben up high on the track, trying to cut off any opportunity he might have to jump early. As we saw previously, none of this early stuff is going to upset him. He's got plenty in the cardio department as well as in the sprint department, so that old game won't work. So it's right back down to classic match sprinting here, holding out to the last minute and going for that huge jump and seeing who can finish this off, waiting for the first person to twitch. They're looking at each other very closely, just waiting to see who's going to commit first to that jump. Stephen's just back from the NJTS, where I believe he did quite well. So he's been training very hard in recent times, so there's no lack of experience and capability between either of these riders. Coming around to corner four, where the classic jump tends to occur, and it has done just that. It looks like Ben has taken the advantage and it's overcome Stephen, and they're going hell for leather. Can Stephen manage to run into that slipstream and come round Ben? Has Ben given it everything? Has he given it enough? As we come into corner three, the two are almost neck and neck. Stephen's putting a hell of a lot of gas to the road and he's coming round. The two are almost parallel, coming to the finish, but I think Ben's held it. That'll be Ben. David lower on the track in the Carnegie kit.
You can get behind me, but you can be waiting.
Luke Daly, a veteran of a number of sprint series now. So a lot of cat and mouse going on here. David's been racing for quite some time doing these match sprints now, and he's certainly picked up some good technique and strategies for how to work in these races. As much as it's about significant power, it's also about a lot of tactics and your ability to control the other rider and take the opportunities when they present. So you should never assume that these types of races are just down to whoever might be fastest in the flying two. So anyhow, coming into corner 4, we get the bell. Neither of the riders, looks like David's away. He's holding the sprinters lane quite well. Luke's doing everything he can to see if he can come back, and it looks like it may well be enough. He's run into David's slipstream, and the two are coming pretty much hip to hip into corner 4. Does Luke have what it takes to get round David? No, it looks like David's got what it takes and finished it off well. Anyhow, this will be another clash of the Titans today. So we have Jared high on the track and Sean sitting down on the blue line, cutting off any opportunity for Jared to jump. So they're moving reasonably slowly, eyeballing each other, seeing where the opportunities might arise, feeling each other out a little bit, trying to understand who might do what and when, trying to encourage either to make some sort of move as they come around corner 2. Jared moving around, just trying to see if you can encourage some sort of reaction out of Sean as they come into corner 3. Jared going high, waiting to see if Sean will match his speed as they wind up a little bit. As there comes a significant opportunity as the bell will ring in a second, coming into corner 4. Jared's taking the opportunity out of corner 4 to jump and come down into the sprinter's lane. Sean's still sitting about 3 bike lengths back, seeing if he can run into that slipstream. Jared absolutely killing himself now, committing 110%, absolutely got his head down, doing everything he can to hold that opportunity, but he rolls through for a very